All right, guys, we're going to be talking about diet. Super popular topic. Seems like everywhere I'm going, almost any interaction I go into, at some point, someone's diet always comes up. So much noise on, different types of diets, fasting, keto, carnivore diet, all these different types of diets out there. So for me, I try to keep it super, super simple. I don't try to overthink it. And just try to stick with what works. So for me, I basically do a version of intermittent fasting. It's something I've been doing. I know that's kind of like a hot craze right now, but I've been basically doing intermittent fasting, I think, since I got into college. I just never ate breakfast and was never really interested in it. And back in the college days, you're tight on money or whatever it may be, so breakfast never really was an option. So I just kind of got used to never really having breakfast, and that has carried with me. But it's a version of intermittent fasting. So I'll normally have my first meal around noon or 1 p.m. And I'll go into the detail what types of food I eat. And then again, I'll normally eat my dinner time around 6 or 7. Sometimes 8, but in that window of from 6 to 8, basically. So one meal, my lunch at noon to 1, and then dinner from around 6 to 8, somewhere in there. And then from 8 p.m. obviously until noon to 1 the next day, basically not getting any food in my system. I'm not perfect. I mean, that's generally my ideal schedule. I mean, shit, nobody's perfect, but sometimes you slip a snack in there. If someone at the office brings in some cookies or whatever, I mean, I'll have a cookie here and there. But when I'm on it, ideally 2 meals a day. The first one at noon, the second one at around 7. What I'm eating, I mean, it really depends. I mean, if I'm trying to really lean out, watch my diet, I'll do like a meal prep program through a company. I don't make this myself. There used to be a company in Southern California, it was Lean Feast. I think they were replaced by a company called Fueled in Corona. And what they have, it's basically just you order meals, and you could get either 4 ounces of protein, 6 ounces of protein, or 8 ounces of protein with like a cup of carbs and a cup of veggies. So if I'm trying to really lean out, like for the summer or something like that, try to lose a little bit of weight, I'll do that, and I'll do the 4 ounce option. So I'll basically have that 4 ounces of protein for lunch, a cup of carbs, and a cup of veggies. And then for dinner, the same thing: 4 ounces of protein, 4 ounces of carbs, 4 ounces of protein, a cup of carbs, and a cup of veggies for dinner. And again, that's when I'm really trying to lean out. And that is hard to stay to that program. That's a very limited amount of food. You could do that for like 2 or 3 months. That'll get you really lean. If you're already in good shape, that'll get you really leaned out, and looking good. But that's not a diet. Personally, that's not a diet that's sustainable. That's like, hey, I want to lean out. I want to dial in my look here. If you're bigger and you're looking to lose weight, you could stick on that. You're probably gonna have to stick on that for a longer period of time and mix in your exercise to start losing weight till you get to a weight where you're good to maintain where you're at. But again, that's if I'm trying to lean out. My everyday life, normally with my diet, I'll stick to that same schedule, the intermittent fasting, first meal at noon, second meal at 7 or 8. But I'll mix that up when I'm not trying to focus and really lean out. And I'll go out and just try to eat healthier foods. Not healthier foods, kind of healthier foods, but like a typical lunch, in and out, I'll get a double protein style with a Flying Dutchman, which is basically two patties, 2 cheeses. And if you get the burger protein style, no buns. I don't order any fries or anything like that. So that could be a typical lunch for me, or something similar to that. I'll talk about some alterations to some of my favorite meals that I do. But that's one. And then for dinner, honestly, I'll usually go to the gym after work around 5-6 o'clock, so I'll get my workout in. And then I'll go home. I'll just go to Ralph's and get like a 14 to 16 ounce ribeye. And I'll fry that up, and that'll be my dinner, and that's it, just a ribeye. No sides, no carbs, no veg, no nothing, just straight 14 to 16 ounces of a steak for dinner. So that's like a typical day for me. So some sort of lunch where I try to really limit, carbs or kind of that nasty food. A lot of protein in there, so like that In-N-Out. I'll go to Chipotle, I'm fine with that. I'll go to like Jersey Mike's, but instead of getting a sub, I'll get like the salad version of the sub, where they basically put all the same meats on a base of lettuce. I'll do like Farmer Boys salads for lunch. What else? Flame broiler. Now you're getting some carbs in there with the rice and all that on some of these meals, which again, I'm not a super against carbs. I mean, if you're keeping it clean, rice, potato, something like that, then I don't think carbs are that terrible. I think when you're dipping into eating massive amounts of bread, I think you're starting to dip into some trouble as far as keeping some weight on in that. So at least that's for me, guys. This is just for me and what works for me. So I noticed that if I start going hard on bread, man, I'll start to blow up and start gaining some weight. So lunch, In-N-Out, Jersey Mike's, Farmer Boys, Chipotle, Flame Broiler, Waba Grill, something to that effect, and eliminating the bread from those meals. And then for dinner, just a steak. I mean, literally just a 14, 15 ounce steak for dinner. And that's a typical day. And that'll kind of keep me where I'm at. Right now I'm about 200 pounds. If I wanted to get a little bit bigger and build a little bit more muscle, start just adding some more food. You can eat a little bit more if you're trying to do that. Right now I'm pretty happy with where I'm at, so I'm kind of like in a maintain stage. And then, I'll probably at some point try to bulk that up a little bit over the next couple months, probably get up to like 205, 210, and not just be eating more of what I just said, not necessarily adding different things, but just more volume of that. And then probably in like the spring, summertime, I'll probably try to lean out a little bit and get really strict on the diet for like 2 or 3 months. Get really good definition and all that sort of stuff. So that'll be in the summer. And that really limited diet, that's that meal prep program that I talked. But I could get by, I could survive on my normal meals of what I just described. I don't feel hungry. I don't feel like I'm not eating or I'm not satisfied when I eat. You get to try the double protein style of the Flying Dutchman. And if you're still hungry after that, then you probably have bigger problems than that. But I'm used to eating this way. I've been doing it for a long time, and it works for me. But again, I'm not perfect. Shit, on the weekends, man, I could go out and order a bigger meal like on a Friday or Saturday or Sunday. So it's not about being perfect all the time, but just being, doing good most of the time, throwing in a day here and there where you're, not eating great. I mean, don't beat yourself up about it. Unless your goal is to really lean out, then you really can't have any of those cheat days, in my opinion, and you can't have any of those kind of snack meals throughout the day, at least for me, especially when I'm trying to lean out. I can notice that, if I'm sticking to that meal prep plan, but I'm cheating a little bit, and dude, it doesn't take much, like a bag of chips here and some cookies there, those calories add up quickly, and I'll notice that weight doesn't fall off as fast as it normally would. So that's me. That's what works for me. Not super complicated. Try to avoid sugars. For me, try to avoid sugars. Try to avoid bread. Avoid alcohol. I haven't drank in 9 months. That's a different story. But not drinking alcohol is huge for my fitness and kind of body composition for a lot of reasons. Obviously, alcohol is a bunch of empty calories, and I could go out and drink 15 beers at night, and that's fucking 2,000 calories in empty dead calories that you're putting on. And then, of course, you're drunk, so you're gonna, want to get those drunchies, get that Del Taco on the way home from the bar or whatever it is. And then, of course, that next morning you're gonna feel like shit. And what's the cure for that? Or at least for me, the cure for that: DoorDash and a big ass breakfast. Eating even more, stuffing myself to, let that food absorb the alcohol. And then, of course, if you do that, you're basically, your workout is shot. You're not going to work out on Saturday or Sunday, and you're basically going to be lazy the rest of the day. So cutting out the sugar, cutting out the bread, cutting out the alcohol, 3 major components, basically the main components of what I do. If I could just not eat those 3 things, I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at. Anything processed, chips, you want to avoid. Anything that you basically buy in a box from the store that's not a real food, you want to avoid. So keep it to like whole foods or natural foods, steak, potato, rice, anything that's not processed, like a Cheez-It. You can't find a Cheez-It in the wild, you can't find a chip. That's all has to be made in some sort of factory. Keep it to the chicken, egg, things that are real foods, that I call them. So, that's basically where I'm at with the diet. So I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at currently. Again, about 200 pounds, and look pretty, in my opinion, even at that, look pretty, muscular and not carrying any extra weight around my midsection, which for me is always the killer. I mean, at any given time, even if I'm putting on a little bit of weight, usually I'm pretty satisfied, like with how my chest and my arms and legs look, but I'll just start putting it in around my lower belly. That's where I feel like I carry most of my weight, especially that excess calories, just right on that lower belly, just a little pooch right there that I fucking hate. I can't stand having that. So that's why generally I like to stay leaner and not do those bulks where I'm getting a little bigger overall, because a lot of the times my muscles are getting bigger and my arms and my chest and my back will be getting broader, but man, I'll carry a lot of just that extra weight right on that lower belly, and I fucking hate that look. So again, there's no perfect solution. Everybody's bodies are different. I get that. Everyone just has different needs for what they where they are. But for me, super easy to follow the plan that I just laid out. I don't feel hungry when I'm on this plan, and I can look good. So I just try to keep it simple. And you are allowed to go out and go to dinners with your friends and eat off a regular menu. It's not like you're so fucking strict where you can't enjoy life or enjoy any of those things. So, and I think that's probably the most important thing about a sustainable diet, is just finding something that you like, and that you can stick to. Because any of these diets that most people are doing will work if you're sticking to them, but can you stay on that diet? I'm going to do this super crazy keto diet for 3 months, and you'll probably see some results, but can you continue your keto diet honestly for the rest of your life? Where if your goal is to be fit for the rest of your life, you're going to need to keep that. So I'm not a real fan of those kind of phased diets. It's a little cliche and corny, but it's more of like a lifestyle diet. So find something that you like. For me, that's the diet I like. So high protein, low carb. Carbs aren't the worst thing. I'll eat carbs, but I'm not like a carbs are the enemy guy. Carbs are the enemy, but I'm not. But rice, potato are good. Just not fucking massive amounts of pasta and bread. For me, again, this is my opinion. A lot of people might disagree. And again, I'm not a fucking bodybuilder trying to be 240 pounds with just massive muscles. Nothing against that. It's super impressive, those guys that can do that and get big like that, and just be huge amount of dedication and hard work and that you need to achieve that is certainly impressive, but that's not the look that I'm going for, at least right now. Maybe one day, I'll wake up and say, fuck, I just want to get huge. But right now, no, I'm more of a fitness, like a body and a diet that I feel like I can maintain for a very long time, like the way I look, like the way I feel, and just keep that going for a long amount of time without it going through these crazy ups and downs and fluctuations of weight. For me, the diet that I'm on too, man, fuck, I feel good on it, man. I don't know what you would classify that diet, kind of like not a keto because I'm eating carbs and not a full carnivore, but a lot of meat in my diet, and I feel great. I mean, I'm 31. Physically, probably feel the best I've felt probably in my entire life. Even better than when I was young, high school age, and everyone. A lot of people refer to that as like their peak fitness for a lot of people, or peak like feeling. I feel great where I'm at. But for me, that works. I was having a lot of different issues with my gut pain in all sorts of different areas. I had some gut inflammation like around my body. I'll share some pictures of this, but about 2 years ago, I was drinking a lot more and I was eating like shit. I really wasn't on the fitness path that I was on now. And I had my entire lower body, lower abdomen basically inflamed and swelled up. It looked like I gained like 20, 30 pounds overnight. It wasn't actual weight. I didn't gain weight. It was just flabby, like fluid buildup in my abdomen. And went to the doctor for that. They CT scanned me, ultrasound me, everything, like organs looked good. I'm like, well, how do you, what the fuck is this fluid buildup? None of it showed up on a scan. To be honest, they didn't have an answer. They're like, oh shit, you might be like having a reaction to something where you swelled up or whatever. What I drew from that, it was just something in my diet, because over time that eventually went away. And I couldn't necessarily pinpoint it, but when I would eat certain foods, or I continued to eat kind of shitty after that. Still, you think that'd be a wake-up call, but at certain times, maybe after a night of drinking or whatever it may be, I'd get that same fluid buildup. I'm like, all right, shit, I need to clean it up. And ever since I've had a clean diet, no inflammation has come back. My abdomen hasn't swelled up like it has in the past. And like I said, I feel fucking great. I'll go into some of the gut issues that I was having, later on. There's actually something I found that my brother actually turned me on. Oh shit. Brother actually turned me on to that has worked really well for me, called Tudca. I'll probably go into a review about Tudca, but Tudca, combination of exercise, cleaning up my diet, taking Tudca, man, my fucking gut issues are totally solid. Man, I was having daily, non-stop pain in all certain different areas of my abdomen, and incorporated those things and basically have taken care of all that. So I'm probably ranting a little bit right now, but I tend to do that, so fuck it. But yeah, so I'll wrap it up. That's where I'm at though. Keep it clean, get rid of all the bullshit, get rid of all the sugars, get rid of all the chips, the processed food, all that. Clean carbs, clean proteins, eat twice a day, intermittent fast. You'll probably see some results from that. So you will see some results from that, I guarantee it. Keep your portions in control. I mean, any diet, man, if you're going crazy portions on it, you're gonna gain weight. So control your portions, avoid all the negative shit or bad shit you can eat, keep it clean.